Hey there. My name is Scott Talley. I'm the broker here at Five Market Realty in Athens, Georgia. And this is another video where kind of doing a general overview of an area of Athens, Georgia, inside of Clark County. And we have various areas that we kind of divide Clark County up into. And then, of course, we have the five counties that border Clark that is really the area that we work in with real estate. We found these videos to be really helpful to people moving to the area to get a little background on not so much specific listings, but maybe what an area of town is like, maybe what it involves and things to do there, what attracts people to it. And downtown Athens is a very vibrant area. It's a part of town that really, no matter where you live, you're probably going to come to it for something. A lot of places to eat, shop, live music. Really well known for the Georgia football games. Is where a lot of people are going to be. And it's right next to campus. So let's start by actually taking a look at this photo, which is courtesy of Matt Brewster from Marigold Solutions. Thank you, Matt, for letting us get some access to these photos. This is the main intersection of downtown we're looking at from overhead. It's kind of looking from campus's angle. And what you're seeing here is College Street and what would be West Broad. Right here, this main intersection is directly where the arch is, which is kind of an iconic part, an emblem of the University of Georgia and the state. So that arch is an entrance into North Campus, which is historic and is one of the most beautiful parts of campus, and it's right here next to downtown. And this part of town is where people are going to be during the day, eating lunch, shopping right off of campus. Then downtown turns into a little bit of a different scene at night between the restaurant, bars, and live music. It's just an immensely popular part of town, but there's also places to live. You have neighborhoods that are close by. You have students that live down in this area. So it's something to take a look at. And we'll go here and get started as I like to kind of take a look at the map. And what we're doing is another Google map again. And I just kind of want to point out some areas that you should be thinking about when you think of downtown Athens. Now, this rectangle that I've sort of crudely drawn here is the commercial district of downtown. When people think of downtown, that is the area that they're specifically talking about usually. You've got Pulaski Street to the west. On the south end, you've got Atlanta Highway or Broad Street, Thomas Street running on the north side, then everything in between. So this circle right here where I've circled inside the square, that is where that arch is that I was referring to. So that's really the intersection our last picture was just looking at. So let's kind of take another look here. A big neighborhood you're going to hear a lot of that is close to downtown is called Chicopee Dudley. And that's where this other circle is drawn, sort of over this Trail Creek, East Broad area. And it's really close to the North Oconee River. They've got a river walk there. It's on the backside of downtown. It's a neighborhood where you might see newer construction, rehab homes, older homes, in some cases, rental properties too. Very eclectic architecture throughout, some of it cottage, some of it older, maybe in 40s type of construction. Some of the names you might want to think about of streets in that area might be East Broad, First Street, Vine Circle, North Peter. Those are all North Poplar. Those are street names you're going to kind of identify with that area. Now let's come up by the river. I mean, 3rd Street, this area as well is another residential area where you might find some properties. And then this circle at the top, while it is in the downtown area, it is across the river. It's not quite as walkable, but over the years, there's been a lot of multifamily housing built in this area. And that has lended itself to a lot of student housing, a lot of UGA parents wanting to buy there or possibly investors. In some cases, you will have some owner occupied at the cottages at Hilltop, which is a little further up the street. But when you think of this area, think of the Retreat, think of Ruth Street, think of Madison Heights and Strickland Avenue. Now, as we come back this way, we're getting really more into the proper downtown area where we have hotels and condos. I'll briefly talk about some of the condos in this area. The Georgian Hotel, University Towers, Cotton Exchange condos, Game Day condos. And there might be some more coming right there at the corner of Lumpkin and Broad, but this is an area inside of downtown where you're going to find a lot of apartments too. It's had a big increase in the amount of students and professionals that might be living in the downtown area. You go back 20 years ago, there was very few residents in downtown, and now there's a lot that has been developed in and around it. Lastly, we'll talk about Pulaski Heights. This is another area that's kind of on the north end. It's almost getting over there to Boulevard, and it's right here at the top of the map, Pulaski Street, Willow Street, going back into this area. And that's another good little area where you can find some homes where it's a mix. You might see families, you might see professionals, people that have retired to Athens, rental properties. It really runs the gambit. And that's kind of where we'll go next. We'll go over a few things that attract people, homeowners and other folks to the downtown area. Number one, in-town location. We already mentioned it. There's so much to do with the restaurants, bars, and stores. Music and art. I mean, that is one of the things Athens is known for is live music. This is the place where you're going to find most of it. It's right next to campus. It's literally right on top of it. It's really benefited downtown Athens to be right there. A mix of residents and businesses able to where they live. There's also neighborhoods there with older homes mixed in with some new construction, and of course the condos, which creates a lot of different housing options. Um, this is a nighttime photo of the twilight race, and this is an example, as I mentioned down here, the twilight criterion of activities and things that go on in downtown. This takes place in April, and it's a bike race that starts in the day with kids' activities, and in the night they end up racing in the streets, and there's beer gardens, and it's a big event and attraction to the downtown area. You're also close to Dudley Park, and as I mentioned, the North Oconee Riverwalk. There's a new arena coming to the downtown area. So we've always been known in this town for live music, places like the Georgia Theater and 40 Watt Club. But with a new, larger arena, we might see larger acts be able to come into the downtown area. So that's exciting. We've also got a lot of shopping downtown, various stores that aren't just restaurants and bars. The Classic Centers, where a lot of conventions are held here in town, also a hotel attached to it. As I mentioned earlier, you're right next to North Campus. And another festival that you have to mention, which takes place in June, is an outdoor music festival that's all over Athens downtown, is AthFest. Now, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of bars and restaurants, so I'm just going to name a few of them to you. These change over time, but there's a few stalwarts that have just stood the test of time. The Georgia Theater and 40 Watt are two locations for live music and bar that have been there for a very long time and are still tremendously successful. Last Resort Grill on Clayton Street, and it's still just one of the top restaurants we have. Very close to Trapeze and Five Bar, which is underneath the Cotton Exchange condos. Chuck's Fish is on the corner of a rehabbed Greyhound bus station that serves sushi and other entrees, really popular. Porterhouse Grill, the National, Little Italy, the Grill, and the Globe are also good little lunch spots and maybe also dinner. Mayflower Restaurant is a really more known for its breakfast on Lumpkin Street, but you can grab lunch there. Bring cash because they do not take a debit card. And of course, I mentioned the shopping. Polly's Crate Bar has become really popular over the last 10 or so years. And there's a great dine. Those are really type of restaurants. What we just want to do is give you information about this, and then hopefully we can provide more videos that are more specific to areas in downtown, like the neighborhoods themselves, or even maybe some of the festivals. So we hope you found this helpful and learned a little bit about downtown Athens. If you need anybody looking for help, we have a group of people here at 5mrealty.com. Any one of these realtors is equipped to get you acquainted with Athens, Georgia, get you information, and hopefully land you in the right spot of town. Have a great day.